Hi everyone, I just wanted to record a short video for you because I see so many people, especially in the Facebook group, saying that they're doing okay, but that they could have done a lot better when it comes to quitting sugar or whatever processed food is that they have a problem with. And it's true, we can always do better, pretty much always, in theory, yeah? But when it comes to decisions in the moment, it's really not that easy. And since we're approaching Christmas now, I know that things are not going to be as they usually are, which has the ability to throw us off. Because when we are in our normal environment, we are having our daily habits and rituals around food and everything else, it's much easier to keep doing what we're doing. When something new is presented to us, our brain has to make a lot of decisions. Decide what we're going to do now, because this is not like it normally is, and that can cause trouble for some people. So I quickly just wanted to share a reminder of how to do this. So number one, this is the most important one of them all, I would say, at least for getting rid of the cravings or not even having them in the first place. Planning. It's as simple as that. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I love that quote. I have no idea where it's coming from, but it's so true. Whatever your plan is, make sure that you are sticking to it. I don't actually care what your plan is. If you plan on having some dessert, some wine, some chocolate, whatever it is on Christmas or New Year's Eve, it doesn't matter. As long as you have planned for it and you're sticking to your plan, I'm good with that. And then you can be good with that as well. Because this is not what you're doing every day. You plan that for Christmas, you're going to eat an amount of chocolate, you're going to have 2 glasses of wine, you're going to enjoy it, and then you're done with it. And you can do that guilt-free. You don't have to feel as if you're failing or you're letting yourself down because you planned for it. Actually, you're only doing what you plan for. So that is how we're taking control of our brain, how we're using the prefrontal cortex to make the decisions that are the rational decisions that will help us becoming that person that doesn't say yes to everything that just pops up. Someone comes up with a donut, you don't necessarily say yes automatically to that donut. You'd be like, hang on now. No, I can't have that donut today because I hadn't planned for it. And I'm fine with that. Because you're so used to following your plan. It doesn't have to be a detailed plan is good, but it doesn't have to be a very detailed plan. It can take you 30 seconds to make a plan for tomorrow, and then you just have to follow it. It's always better to write it down in the beginning because it's easy to forget, especially when you kind of, well, I said I was going to have some ice cream, but I didn't say how much. I'm going to eat 2 buckets of ice cream. That's not ideal. It's not the worst you can do because you still plan for it, but if you plan on having 3 scoops of ice cream, that is what you're going to have. So make sure that you get the amounts down as well. And then number 2, if you eat something that was not on your plan, you need to put your scientist hat on. Put it on, have a look at what happened. Analyze things. Why did you eat off plan? Was it because you didn't have a plan? Well, we know how to fix that. You should have done number 1. Is it something else? Was it that you threw out your brain when you entered the door to your in-laws or whatever? I don't know. But whatever it was, you have to identify what happened here, what went wrong, so that the next time you're in a situation like this, you're not going to make the same mistake. And that's fine. So as long as you use the experience that you had and you analyze it and you learn from it, it's actually a good thing. Because this means that you're one step closer to not ever doing that again. Because this was always going to happen. Clearly it did. And this is what happens if you don't have a plan. That's probably going to happen because your reptilian brain is going to tell you that it's such a good idea. And it's pure biology. Biology is ruling our bodies, and it wants us to eat those foods that give us a lot of reward, because that has always meant that there is a lot of energy. Having a lot of energy means that you will have a better chance of survival. Unfortunately, in today's society, or I say unfortunately, I think we're quite happy that there is no shortage of food. I think we can all agree on that. But unfortunately, there is a surplus of crap foods around us, and they just stimulate all our senses. So we have created a different problem for ourselves, and we just need to get a hold of this, and we have a totally different way that we need to approach this, rather than what we had back in the days when we didn't have enough food. And we are nowhere near to adapting to this. And I think as a society we might just eat ourselves to death before that happens, maybe. Anyway, when you know the reason, you can make sure that you never make that mistake again, because you will know. You would play that scenario in your head. The next time it happens, you're going to be this is what I did wrong last time. I'm not going to do that again. Doesn't mean that you're not going to screw up again. You probably will. But then you can learn from that as well. And eventually you're going to have gone through all of those scenarios, and you won't have to make any mistakes. Then, number 3, last thing. Whether you succeed in following your plan or not, do something now nice for yourself. Rediscover natural ways of enjoying life, something that doesn't have a negative consequence. Like things like overeating food, gambling, scrolling on social media, all those things that feel good in the moment, but they have a downside, and that is that if life feels really dull when we're not doing that. So one of the things that I like to do at this time of the year is actually just because I'm in New Zealand, so it's we're into summer right now, is to just take an hour or two and lay about in the sun. Sometimes I listen to an audiobook, but sometimes I just lay about or in the shade if it's too hot. And that is just really relaxing, and I just enjoy it, and it feels like life is good when I do that. But whatever it is, if you're on the other side of the world, if it's winter, if it's cold, you can just book yourself in for a massage. You can have a hot bath, curl up on the sofa with a big fluffy blanket, read a book, do something that you know that you enjoy and that makes you feel good, that releases dopamine in your brain naturally. And just remember that you're only human. Each time we're saying no to processed food and sugar in any kind, we are going against our biology. And it does not feel good, especially not in the beginning, because it's in our genes that we should eat that. So every time you manage to do that, and you feel okay doing it, and you feel a relief, and as if you're in control, you know that you're on the right track. And you should be celebrating every single time that you do that, and not count the times that you don't do that, because that's not useful. But every time you actually manage to do that is one step closer to you doing it again and making it a habit. So just remember that and celebrate the small wins. So let's collect as many small wins as we possibly can in 2021. So just Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year, and I will see you on the other side.